Okay, step one, shall we?
Go on then.
Hello and welcome to this very special show because it's the first ever episode of Ask Angelika. And joining me today, well, I'm joining Angelika today. Good afternoon, Angelika.
Good afternoon, Stephen.
It's good to be here on the first ever episode. And could you tell me a little bit about your business?
I have been teaching German for, I've lost count how long, but I have been teaching German on my own, for my own business for the last 10 years. And private students, one-to-one students, Skype students, online students. And I hear a lot of questions that come up, not always as part of the lessons.
Mm-hmm.
So, of course, if I'm teaching something, then people ask questions, but then questions come up, oh, why is this or why is that? And that gave me the idea for this video show.
Right. And the first question that we have today is quite a simple one. What is the best way to learn German?
Yes, that's a question that comes up a lot. And I've actually answered it a few times on a site called Quora. It's a bit of a question. The answer is a bit like how long is a piece of string? What's the best way? There is no best way, and there is a best way. There is no best way by me saying the best way for you to learn German is by doing X, Y, and Z. You need to find it out yourself. There is a best way for you, the student, and you need to have a think. Your best way may be to have weekly lessons in a group because you like the interaction and you want to do role plays with other students and things like this. Somebody else may think, oh, no, I don't want that at all. My best way is to learn with a teacher, weekly lessons. Other people maybe not even want that at all. They don't want even lessons with a teacher. They just want to go ahead and find things online. And that is also possible. But you need to have a think, what do you like doing? Do you want the interaction with other people? Do you want to work on your own? Do you need the little pressure of having to do some homework because your next lesson is on in 3 days? Or do you want to learn German whenever you want to in your own time? So, yeah, it takes a bit of thinking beforehand, and then you can work out what the best way is of learning German for you, the student.
Thank you. And the second question is, I've decided to learn German. How long is it going to take me?
That's another one of those. How long is a piece of string? It depends on a lot of things. It depends on how quickly you pick things up. B, it depends on how long or how much time you spend every week on doing it. And of course, the most trickiest bit is that it's not like maths where you just go ahead and learn your things. You have 4 skills. So you need to learn how to speak German, how to read German, how to write German, and how to listen to German things. And everybody picks these things up differently. Now, the Goethe Institute once did a poster about roughly how long these things take. And I have simplified it once very, very basically on an infographic. Goethe Institute says for GCSE or the European framework, it would be A2, you need roughly 400 hours. Now, assume you did an hour a week and I'll give you 2 weeks off for holiday. So that would be 50 weeks at an hour. That would take you 8 years, which sounds like a lot.
It does sound a lot, yes.
Yeah, so but again, this is very basic because some people pick up a lot in an hour, whereas other people may not. And again, you need to remember it's got to cover all 4 skills. So if you spend 2 hours every week, which is what lots of people do when they're doing evening classes, yeah, then that would go down to 4 weeks, 4 years, sorry, not 4 weeks. Yeah. So it depends on really how much time you spend, how quickly you pick it up. if you spend, on the other hand, if you spend 5 minutes every day, that's about half an hour, assuming it may not be actually every day, 35 minutes in a week. That would take you 16 years. Right. But if you try to do 5 minutes every day, and most likely you will do more than 5 minutes, yeah, so you get an idea. It also depends on really why you want to learn German and what for. So right. You may not need, maybe you only want to read German books, and you're not actually worried about listening to German or speaking. Maybe you only want to go on holidays there. Then you don't need GCSE exams. So, but it's a nice rough idea. You need 400 hours to get to sort of A2.
Okay. Now you actually have a book, don't you, for business people going to Germany?
That's the oh, you mean the 30-day challenge?
Yes.
Yes, there as well. That I've done that for 30 days. It's one task every day, and again, I've made it so basic that the task takes between 5 and 15 minutes, because most people find it really hard to find the time. Yeah, if you want to learn German and you're saying, right, this is it now, I'm going to spend an hour every day, the chance is that you probably won't last very long. Having said that, I do know some people who actually do spend an hour every day, and I envy them, because I always find life gets in the way and I don't have the time to do it. But we do find the time to do something for 5 minutes, 10 minutes a day.
Yeah. So, but if you reinforce your daily learnings with, as you say, going to classes and listening on perhaps on the radio, you can actually make it more of an enjoyable experience, which
yes,
will make you do more.
Absolutely. I mean, there are lots of other ways. There is learning by using your textbook, and I think we all know textbooks aren't the most riveting things to look at. But once you have a little bit of understanding, yeah, if you go to YouTube and you find some German songs or some German children's cartoons, anything like this, whatever you are interested in, that's the important bit. Find something that you're interested in and just listen to it or watch it, and supplement your German learning with that. You probably won't notice it as learning because you're not working in your textbook, but you're spending some extra time doing some German.
Indeed. Now, the next question is, learning language. I can't afford to learn German. Can I teach myself?
Yes, that's another question that comes up a lot. And often people say, no, you can't. And I have my reservations. I know some people who have actually done it. They have taught themselves completely on their own. Other people start off with the best intentions, but then sometimes they lack the little bit of the kick up the bum because there's nobody there. You know, you haven't got, oh no, I've got a lesson next week, I need to do some homework. But having said all this, if you can't afford lessons and you want to learn German, don't say, oh well, that's it, I can't do it. Try it. There are lots of things you can do. One example is Duolingo, which is a free a program. You can use it online, you can use it on your phone, and again, you can spend 5 minutes or anything you want really by working your way through. And just like Duolingo, there are other sites. There are lots of free online resources that you can use. And the problem only could come up if you come across something and you're stuck, and then you may not have anybody who help you to help. So because you haven't paid for a course, even if you're buying a book, it's highly unlikely that you can go and write to the author and saying, I've just bought your book and I don't understand what you've written on page 35. Can you please explain it? So for that, sorry.
That's different to a Udemy course, isn't it?
That would be different to a Udemy course. A Udemy course is an online course where you watching the videos in your own time, but if you are stuck, you can ask a tutor. Now, Udemy course is a nice compromise. If you can't afford weekly lessons or monthly lessons, Udemy courses are a lot cheaper, but you still have the support of the tutor.
Now,
the other compromise would be to find a tutor who does one-off lessons.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, I do that with a couple of students. They just message me. They're teaching themselves, and they message me when they want a lesson.
Right.
And that way, again, it's a good way to cut down the cost. So, it is possible to teach yourself, but sometimes you may need a bit of a compromise of getting some help somewhere.
Yeah, you actually have taken time to write a blog post about the free resources that are available, and that link will be under this video.
Yes, I've got I've written lots of blog posts are actually about free resources, and I've put them all together as a PDF. And anybody who subscribes to my newsletter will get this PDF. I think at the moment it's got over 100 free resources where people can find things. They will not always be suitable to everybody, but again, there are different things for people's different interests. There's bound to be something in there that a German learner would be interested in.
Right. Okay. Now, I think back to my school days. We learned French and German was optional. Which should we be learning? Should we be learning French and German or French and German?
Well, I'm giving you the completely unbiased answer, German, of course. But no, this is another question I see a lot online, where people saying, I want to learn another language, but I don't know, should I learn German or French, or should I learn German and Chinese, or whichever combination? And again, it depends on your circumstances. It depends on where you live.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you may not be in England, you may live somewhere else. B, it depends on what would you like to do with the language. Yeah, do you want to learn a foreign language because you want to go on holidays in Spain? Or then learning German may not be the best idea. Do you want to learn German because maybe you want to get a job in another country? Then think, which country would you like to live in?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, or depending on what your profession is, which country is looking for people with your skills. So if you have the choice, then have a think through of what do you want to use the language for. If you don't want to use it for anything, just really purely for fun, then maybe just go to YouTube and listen to some videos with in the German language or French or Spanish or Chinese, and go by which you prefer listening to.
Right. And final question from me for today, before we wrap up, is that when we go abroad to Spain or Italy or France or Germany, we learn the phrases. But when you're learning a language, how important is grammar?
Grammar is a shortcut. You can learn a language actually parrot fashion by just learning the phrases.
Yep.
And that's how most adult learners start as well. We just start off with learning basic sentences that you can learn by heart and use. So my 30-day challenge has got virtually no grammar in it. Because most of the time, not every student, but most students are terrified of grammar. And if you start using grammar in the second lesson, they probably don't come back in the third lesson. But once you've sort of got a basic German knowledge, you'll find that by picking up the grammar, it's like a shortcut. And it means that later on, you remember this particular shortcut, and you can then use it for any other phrases. And once you understand it, it makes life a lot easier.
I understood that perfectly. Now, this of course is the first episode of Ask Angelika, and in the second one, what we're looking to do.
Well, I'm hoping now. There are still some questions. Well, there are lots of questions on Quora. I keep on seeing, and they sort of keep on being asked over and over again by people, but I'm also inviting people to send me questions. So if anybody has got a questions about the German language that they've always wanted to know, let me know. Put it either in the discussion under the YouTube video, or email me, or let me know on Facebook or Twitter, and hopefully I will be covering them in future episodes.
Wonderful. So that is episode 1 of Ask Angelika, and you can look out for episode 2 and send in your questions to Angelika, and come live on the next episode and join us and have a chat with Angelika. Ask your questions live on air or in text, and Angelika will be happy to answer them. And this thank you from me.
And from me, thank you.
Bye.